And, so this is the guidelines that are being propagated all over the nation, and even in, other countries, foreign countries. So she went on before me talking about, whole wheat bread and how calories are important and how you'll have to lower the fat. And of course, I get on and I start with the 5, or 6 big dietary myths, and there's a lot of mumbling in the seats and whatnot, but people were attentive and they listened. It's interesting. I enjoy a crowd like that. It's always fascinating when I get to lecture for to physicians and dietitians. I have to wear like a like a riot shield, because they start throwing tomatoes at me. They try to attack me. They sit there fuming. People walk out. Licensed physicians, professionals walk out of the room when I'm telling them the truth. Are you kidding me? Right? But most of them just sit there and you see the little temples pulsating, because they're so mad at me. They want to jump and strangle me. And it's fascinating, because what they're battling is their belief system. They don't understand that sugar is sugar is sugar. By the end of this webcast today, and I'm going to, I see some, not calls, but emails are coming in. I'll get to them in a second. You're going to understand biochemistry better than most of the physicians out there. And I encourage physicians who have questions or who want to just try to counteract what I'm saying, or tell me I'm wrong. But just don't tell me I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong. Show me the evidence. You see, I've been a skeptic my whole life. I didn't always understand that low carbs were the way to go. By golly, I was 80 pounds heavier than what you're looking at here. I placed myself in a low-fat, low-cholesterol regimen, and it didn't work. Now, I'm a physician, so I'm like, it didn't work. I ate the correct way, or so I thought, right? Low-fat, low-cholesterol, but I gained weight. My blood pressure went up. My HDL and all those other numbers got worse. But I was ignorant. I didn't understand that I wasn't eating the correct way. I was eating the accepted way. So I put myself on medications. Now, a book came to my attention called Protein Power by Michael and Mary Yeats. Protein Power, phenomenal book. I'm reading this book. Now, before medicine, I studied nutritional biochemistry. I know how vitamins work in the body. I know about the production of fat, the production of cholesterol, what amino acids do. I know about gluconeogenesis and glycolysis and oxidative phosphorylation. Wow, okay, big fancy words. I knew all this. But when it came down to my patients, when it came down to myself, I was ignorant of nutritional biochemistry. Wow, how embarrassing. So here I am reading Protein Power by the Eads, and I kept doing this after every turn of the page, because I'm reading this, armed with my biochemical knowledge. I knew that at that point in my career, which is 6 years into my practice, that I had told tens of thousands of people to eat the wrong way. It went something like this, right? A patient would walk into my office, examining room, they'd sit down, and I'd say, well, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, not their real name, of course, your cholesterol is high, and your triglycerides are also elevated, and your blood pressure is high, so you need to do a low-fat, low-cholesterol dietary regimen. And get your fat as low as you can. Don't eat saturated fat because it's bad. And please, whatever you do, stay away from egg yolks, meat, and all that stuff, because it'll kill you. Now, it's funny, because I had uttered those statements tens of thousands of times. And I implicitly knew that those patients would come back and their numbers would not have improved. And this would happen time and time again. But you know what? I'm a doctor. So I take out my pen and write for a prescription for whatever whatever statin du jour was in that particular day. A statin drug, by the way, is a drug that helps lower cholesterol. And I have a lot to say about cholesterol later on in this webcast. If I don't get to it today, I'll talk to because this webcast I will keep going every week, every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Now, obviously, you know where you are. You're on www.dreamweaverradio.com. www.dreamweaverradio.com. This is not for you people watching me because you know where you are, but it's for your friends, your relatives. Please have them watch, have them listen. This is so important. We're talking about the health of a population of people, and by golly, it ain't just America, it's around the world as well, all right? So there I am, I'm giving lectures to physicians and all, they're walking out of the room, they're getting really anxious, I'm putting patients on the wrong way to eat, low fat, low cholesterol, not understanding that what I'm telling them is the wrong thing to do. After I got finished with reading Protein Power, after I dropped my carbohydrate intake and was not afraid to eat fat, cholesterol, and protein-containing foods, I lost weight, a lot. The total was 80 pounds. I came off my medications. I didn't need them anymore. I came off my blood pressure medication. I came off my cholesterol lowering medication. Now, I also hold a law degree, so I got to be very cautious with the things that I do. You know, well, I got to be cautious anyway in medicine, but I'm a little more cautious, I guess you could say. So before I started implementing this 100% in my practice, I enlisted the help of friends and family. I figured, you know what? If this ain't right and I'm wrong, and if something happens to them, they're less likely to sue me. So I'm like, hey, mom, dad, do this, you know, whatever, sister, brother, do that, you know. So interesting thing happened. My dad was very overweight. He lost weight. Blood pressure normalized. He did great. My aunts, uncles did fantastic. My cousins did great. No, I didn't get sued. So then I started introducing it to certain people in my practice, you know, people who, you know, I had good relationship with. I basically have good relationship with everybody, but, you know, I'm taking it back 12 years ago now. And, wow, they did good too. You know, I'm at the stage in my practice now where if you come in with high cholesterol, I should say low HDL, high triglycerides, high blood pressure, you're overweight, you have type 2 diabetes, I know I'm going to be able to treat you and normalize those numbers without medication for the vast majority of people. I'm not saying I never use drugs or medications to treat people. I'm saying that since I've instituted low carbs in my practice, I rarely, if ever, have to pick up a prescription pad. A little bit about my book, okay? Let's talk about the title, Genocide. How your doctor's dietary ignorance will kill you. Wow. Most people who hear that title say just that. They're like, Jim, you think you should change the title? And my answer is no. And, you know, it took me a while to come up with the title Genocide, and the reason I landed on that title, now, genocide basically means the systematic eradication of a population of people. The title Genocide was chosen to underscore the fact, to bring to light the fact that millions of people are dying each and every year due to physicians' dietary ignorance. Millions of people are dying each and every year, not only in America, but around the world as well, due to physicians' dietary ignorance. It's got to stop. But the subtitle, of course, it's self-explanatory, How Your Doctor's Dietary Ignorance Will Kill You. And notice each word there was chosen with precision. I didn't say will kill you. I didn't say may or possibly or could kill you. I said will. But it gets better. Actually worse. Before you die, you're going to die a very slow and very, you know, a horrible death, because there'll be a lot of pain and suffering involved. But don't worry, you'll be giving trillions of your dollars to the pharmaceutical companies so they can travel in their fancy jets and have the nice little fancy parties and all that. All right? This doesn't need to happen. You want healthcare reform? You want healthcare reform? Let's start understanding as clinicians that backing off on carbs is the correct way to eat. Let's start as clinicians to start understanding that saturated fat and cholesterol containing foods are safe to eat. That protein is not dangerous, and rarely is it dangerous. There are certain conditions where that you have to be careful with the consumption of protein, but for the vast majority of people, they need to eat more protein, specifically females who are notoriously protein malnourished. So now I've been talking for, oh gosh, about 25 minutes, you know, about, you know, myths and lectures I've done. But let's get into the crux of it. Let's really look at the biochemistry behind it, you know, because it's not about me being right or wrong. This is not about my belief, my theory, my supposition, my opinion. These are about the facts. And a lot of clinicians, or patients, when they hear me give a lecture, when I talk one-on-one in the examination room, they think I'm dealing with my opinion or a theory.